Yo, I asked that because, and what you said is, I'm gonna say it's more powerful because you've been much more places, so you have more like feedback to give. Because I'm still in the real traveling phase. Like Cancun, Jamaica, the resorts. I'm just. I'm really
all inclusive.
Yeah, I'm in the all inclusive phase. I haven't started doing Europe. I haven't started doing Europe yet. But when I was in college, matter of fact, let me change that. I'm not gonna say college. We're gonna do it international. When I was at university, I always like the way they say that. I always like the way they say that. That is fine. When I was at university, I was in a program called Students Helping Honduras, and it was one of the first time. Matter of fact, it was the first time I left the country. I left America, and it changed my life. Like seriously, it changed my life because when you grow up poor in America, South Side, let's say the Bronx, New York, similar, very situation. It's tough. And you grow up feeling bad for yourself. Oh, this situation, your parents is doing this, gun violence, drugs. Why I keep ending up in this situation? I'm going to be a statistic because of my environment. I can't pull myself out of it. And then when I went to Honduras, I was like, am I serious? Like, I was poor, but I ate at night. You know what I'm saying? There was roaches, but there was a bed. And I'm there in a village and kids don't have clothes. Nobody has sneakers. Nobody has shoes. And I'm like, they have no opportunity. The school system ain't the best, but we still got textbooks, right? There's still a pathway for us to at least try to get to college, whether it's community, whether I have to start small. So for me, and again, I haven't been to 50 countries. I haven't been that many places, but when I went to Honduras, when I went to Belize, when I went to Guatemala, and I started to look at the world and I started to say that, bro, you have no excuses. Who are you to take the Bronx or the experience of America and the privilege I have of being an American citizen, the way people treated me when I had a passport? They didn't see color. They seen a whole different spectrum of who I was as a person. We would be there in these communities and we eat meat every day and the kids are hungry, but they want to feed us because of the perception of being around me. And I'm like, yo, I'm nobody, and I'm talking about back then, you know what I'm saying? I'm nobody. I'm whatever. That's the internal thing, but in my head, I'm like, I'm nobody. Why are these people treating me like this? So for me, it's cool. I didn't look at it the way you looked at it, which is also a very cool perspective of how you just realize that no matter where you go to in this world, you just see similar traits. But it was just it really changed my life in a way, and I talk about it a lot, how that experience of going to Honduras, being part of an organization like Students Helping Honduras. Shout out to Students Helping Honduras.
Students Helping Honduras.
Yeah, and how putting us in these communities and selling cupcakes and if we don't build this school, these kids can't go to school. We're not trying to raise millions. We're not trying to raise 100,000. We're not trying to build a charter school and finesse the system. We just trying to raise 5,000 so these kids can have an education. Not so they could be doctors, so they could work at the airport.
It's something. It's something.
So they could work at McDonald's. So they could speak English and work at McDonald's, and that's how they made it. You know what I'm saying? We was building schools for that. I'm like, I don't even gotta go to school. I'm gonna get the McDonald's job. If that's y'all baseline.
Yeah, that's the baseline.
That's y'all baseline. That's their made it. Man. So for me personally, just going to certain places throughout my college journey, when I was at university, I started traveling to these places literally for my mental health. I wasn't thinking about I want to see the world. I wasn't thinking about, I would go when I was depressed so I could remind myself, bro, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. God has blessed you tremendously.
Amen. Amen.
So now again, I'm in the resort phase right now.
It's still beautiful
because my wife don't really like the villages, but we. But I'm not I'm planning. I want to go to Africa. I want to do a safari tour. I want to go I want to go to certain places. I want to do Europe. I still haven't done Europe. So there's a lot of things I want to do, but traveling for me became a mental battle for myself to remind myself that. And it kind of sounds crazy, right? Does that sound selfish? I went to poor places to make myself feel better. I don't know. I used to battle myself with yo, am I a fucked up person for doing this? Cause think about it. There's a perspective. You could look at it in two different ways. You could look oh, that's cool. That's cool. That you came back and thought that, but it's also fucked up. Did I was I going to look?
Took away from it?
No, it's not that. I'm at one point, yes. When I was really bad and struggling, a teenage father and going through all these things in college trying to figure it out. I used to be yo,
At least
like
I got it better than these people.
not even like that. Like I was there doing community work. To this day, like I sponsor a kid that I met when he was 4. What was this? 2014, 2022. Like I paid for his college tuition.
That's beautiful.
Like we did something in Students Helping Honduras called the Cup of Coffee. Okay. Where like every month, all you had to do was send what you would pay for a Starbucks cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. And that $6-7 fed their family, helped the kid pay for his education. And I couldn't believe it back then. Like, I was like, what? Because, we used to be like, yo, I can't help these kids. Like, I'm in college.
Yeah.
Like, I have a kid, I'm struggling. Yeah. And they just like, no. Sign up for a cup of coffee. Yeah. You go to Starbucks all the time, right? On your campus. You swipe your meal points, right? 1 cup of coffee a month. That's it. Just send it to the kid. And it'll change his life.
That's enough.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I went there to do my work and also, but at the same time, selfishly, I would look at these situations and say, yo, God has blessed you. By learning their culture, by learning... when I was in Honduras in 2014, don't quote me on this, people. Don't go research this. I think the unemployment rate was 51%.
Bro, that's crazy.
I remember kids leaving to go work for what's the famous banana company out here. Matter of fact, I ain't going.
Chiquita.
I think. Yeah, man. You know about that. You right?
The wars.
Yeah, like the coffee. They would literally leave, come back 3 days. The kids' joints would be scratched. I would like rub ointment on. What they was doing? Why did they disappear for 3 days? They was with us. We was playing soccer. We had fun.
Damn.
And they'll be like, oh no, he had to go to the coffee plantation and pick the coffee beans for 3 days. I'm like, okay, how much they pay him? These kids are 7, 8. Oh, 65 cents per kid.
They say it casually.
65 cents for 3 days.
And they say that casually.
I remember working with the MS-13 members, tattoos on their face.
Wow.
And be like, yo, I promise you, Mr. Conyers, we ain't gonna kill nobody, we ain't gonna hurt nobody. When you leave,
it's like a whole other thing.
Like real conversation. Like, yo, it's crazy. They're like, yo, when you leave, like,
why you here?
But like, while you here, you guys employ us. We don't want to hurt nobody. Like, but the government don't help us. 51. Imagine somebody told you, like, and it's a translator. It wasn't, the conversation wasn't this fluent. I ain't capping. It was translated and stuff,
Still.
But like, the guy would be like, yo, imagine somebody told you they won't feed your daughter. No matter what you do, you made all the right choices. There is no jobs. No matter if I wanted to go to school, there is no opportunity for me. 51% of the whole country was unemployed.
Damn.
So what would you do?
It's that urgency.
I'm sorry. What would you do? I ain't gonna say the answer on camera.
Yeah.
But if America woke up today and said, John, no matter what you do, all the degrees you got, your kids can't eat, they gonna eat.
They gonna eat.
Mr. White.
They gonna eat.
Yeah, one way or
whether you tell me not, they gonna eat.
No,
right?
Yeah.
So like, how can you judge them? But then I'm looking at them like, yo, you still a monster, bro. But are you a monster? Like, so so it was just, it's not like one set thing my mom was going through. It was so much. But let me stop. Ken, go back. I'm talking too much. I'm talking too much. No, but like, yo, the perspective is amazing. Like how you just could realize you've been to so many more places, so you have more data.
This thing had me like completely. My mind was like, I don't know. I almost had a nervous panic attack when I first started traveling. I'd say like around maybe like 15, 16 countries in, I had a panic attack. And like, if anyone who's ever had a panic attack as they travel, they're like, okay, where the fuck am I? What is this I'm experiencing? What's happening? Why is my heart beating fast? And I'm in this rural village in Africa having this moment where it's like, okay, you have to calm down. You have to realize that, listen, it's just a moment of flux. But there was a moment when this last trip, I was in Haiti and I had just come back from trying to buy food and I got to literally smuggle my food and then take it back to the room because I don't have enough to feed everyone, that I go back to the house where the main actress of the film, where she lived, which is really just like
what's her name?
Lila.
Lila,
yes. Lila, hello, I hope you get a chance to see this. Salut mademoiselle, ça va? J'espère tout est bien avec toi.